Hmm. Well, it's Friday. I'm at a conference. This is the last day of a conference at Addictions Professionals of North Carolina. And I've been here since Wednesday. Or was it Tuesday night? I guess I left on Tuesday night. I'm out past Asheville in the mountains. It's a pretty little spot called Lake Junaluska. And I just woke up, got a bit of a sore throat this morning, which is typical of any time I go to a conference or a training or anything. I don't know why. I always seem to get something. Maybe it's just hopefully it's just dry air or something. It's been an interesting couple days. There's been a couple seminars that were personally interesting to me. There's been a lot of good information, but there was a seminar on loneliness in the helping professions, which I thought was interesting. I was talking with Jessica about it last night because I usually feel like a deep sea diver surrounded by snorkelers. Like, most people, and when if you say something like this, they think you're being snobby or something, which I'm really not. But people talk about finding their tribe, and so I'm just trying to find people that are like me, you know. And one thing I learned right away is that the people that I work with, I mean, I don't know if it's a question of maturity or culture or what, but like, for example, there was a conference yesterday, there was a session about leadership. Well, I thought, this thing would be packed out. But it turns out that pretty much no one I work with, I don't think anyone from my agency was at this leadership thing besides me. Even though we're in a job where we're trying to motivate people, and leadership is important. We need leaders. But that's kind of anecdotal, but there's just it's beyond doubt that I just feel a sense of otherness most of the time, that I just don't fit in. And I told Jessica, it would be easier for me if I was like stupid or something. If I was, maybe that's too harsh a word. If I wasn't the way I am, if I didn't think the way I think, if I just kind of lived on the surface like most folks do, and didn't get into philosophy or anything too weighty. I mean, most people go through life like that. They don't trouble themselves with whether something's true. I mean, most of the people that I know are just creatures of sense. So when they talk, they just talk about, like when there was discussion of this conference, my coworkers were talking about sitting next to a lake and smoking cigars and eating s'mores by a bonfire. And I, the goofy, weird nerd, was like more excited about. Well, I wasn't excited at all because I kind of know what to expect from conferences. But the idea of seeing what other professionals deal with, meeting new people, just kind of connecting with people. Like, I connected with a provider yesterday that we didn't know existed in Greensboro, where I work. To me, that's like, that's what I think of when I think of a conference. And the other stuff is okay, but the meat's got to be there first, And I feel like I'm surrounded by people that just want to eat the sweet, and they don't want to eat the meat. They don't want to eat the thing that's bitter, maybe that actually is the nutrition. I have a coworker that I can't stand him. And I'm upset with myself that he takes up so much of my headspace. But like on Monday and Tuesday, our supervisor had blocked those out for reports for us to do paperwork. And I know for a fact that he didn't touch his. Like everyone else who was coming to the conference, like got their reports done, including me. He didn't touch his. He's lazy, thoughtless. You know, he's a younger child. He's like the baby in a family. And the way the world is, the world doesn't go, oh, we need to help this guy grow up. The world goes, oh, we love this slacker. And people like me who bear the responsibilities in life and observe things, it's just an unhappy way to live. And the stuff that bothers me, he never even thinks of. So that's what I was telling Jessica last night. In a way, I wish that I was not as intelligent, not as self-aware, not as concerned about the truth, not as concerned about safety, because I feel like I'd be a happier person. And in this conference, they talked a few times about loneliness, about finding your tribe, and I don't have a tribe. I don't fit in with Christians. My church experiences have mostly been bad. Because when I go into church, most people are like I'm describing. They're just there for whatever they think they can get from God. It's pretty rare to hear people talk about experience with God in the John chapter 3 type sense, where Jesus is talking about this total transformative change. Not just, okay, here I'm here to start a new religion and be a part of your life. Like, I feel like that's the way Jesus is framed. I'm here to be a part of your life. And Jesus never ever said that. He is the life. He's the total life. He is paramount. He's not a branch on the tree. He's the tree. We're the branches. But we just have it all backwards. And so when I go to church, I hear these messages that are just, it's like everything around me is shallow. Like all the people that I see, if you were to go and penetrate past the skin, there's nothing. It's just like human suits walking around, and just there's a vacancy in the soul. I think in the absence of reality, life, truth, there's nothing. And that's what it seems like I'm in a world of. So, and I get looked at as a weirdo. I'm the weirdo. I'm the guy who doesn't fit in, or who has different perspectives on things. Misunderstood. But I don't have anyone to talk to. One of the questions last night was, the presenter challenged us to think about people or places or experiences where we felt safe, where we felt connected. Environments or people that either now or in the past that helped us to relax and connect, And I thought about that, and I was thinking, like, who do I know with whom I felt safe? I mean, obviously, Dr. Sharp He's been a godsend. I think my mother, when I was younger, not Jessica, to me, the most important relationship in my life. It's kind of sad. Maybe Scott, my friend, when I was younger, when I was 15 and a half, his mother, she was kind of like an aunt to me. When my parents were divorcing and going crazy, that's kind of where I crashed. She was an awesome cook and just a nice, simple country lady who loved me. In most of my environments, I've been a disruptor. I've been someone who comes with different ideas. That's work, school, church, whatever environment, family, whatever environment I'm in. I'm the person who's viewed as a troublemaker because I have different ideas. And not many friends, even most of my friendships have been people coming to me sort of wanting to draw off me, to ask for, it's like I tried in Brunswick County with two people. One was a guy named Jerry and the other one was named Bobby. And I think the one especially was a pastor. I think he would say that he really appreciated talking to me, and we would talk about the Word of God and we would do things. But to me, it was a kind of a sacrifice. It wasn't that I was getting a lot out of it. Truthfully, it wasn't a friendship. It was it's like when we would talk, he would have to go into teacher mode and try to teach me something, And another guy that was there, I was in Supply, North Carolina for 8 years. Another guy was there. I really made an effort to befriend because he was about the same age as me, and he had just gotten married, and he wasn't spirit filled, but I still was just trying to befriend the guy. And I've made efforts. In other words, I haven't been a hermit. I have actually made efforts to try to connect with people, and it almost always is not satisfying to me or makes me tired. So I don't know. It's kind of, this conference has kind of thrown a magnifying glass on my sense of isolation. I've seen plenty of people acting stupid, inappropriate. Affair-wise. I don't know what the answer is for me, but it is like, it almost like if you think back in your life and you can only identify 2 or 3 people with whom you felt safe, which is supposed to be the place where humans can thrive in an environment like that, where you felt heard and safe and at rest, then that doesn't give me a whole lot of hope that at 40, almost 49 years old, there's a lot of hope for much of that in the future. But I don't know the future. Only God does. I wish that I could just turn my brain off where other humans are concerned. Like, I wish that I could, even just temporarily, just stop thinking about the way the world is and the way that people are and get more of a perspective of, I mean, Christ must know all this. He knows how people are. He knows what was in the heart of man. I have plenty of flaws myself. But it would be like a relief in a sense to just like be able to push past all these thoughts and be comforted, by God, in God's presence. And have a fresh perspective. That's really what I need.